just getting back from the store, and I've gotten down to the mask discussion and voting. And here, the government was trying to require facial recognition to get your tax information, but not require it for voting, when there has been voter fraud. I don't care what they say, there's been voter fraud. There's been dead people voting. There's been people voting in 2-3 different states, the same person, because they don't have guidelines like they're supposed to have here. And you know, Oregon keeps talking about how great our mail-in voting is. It's not great. It is not great at all. Came from California initially, had to walk my happy butt over to the school, place my vote in person. That's the way it should be. It should not be mail-in. Mail-in offers too many opportunities. I don't care whatever other arguments people come up with. It offers too many opportunities for duplicate ballots, voter frauds, stuffing ballot boxes, the whole 9 yards. But as far as the Canada person that Miller was talking about the person that went in without any facial coverings whatsoever, had to provide ID, and then the other person that went in with her full veil and everything on, is because of the very simple fact we've already discussed it. They're reversing the races. They're reversing the segregation. They're reversing everything that was done to other races. And now, I mean, just like you guys have hate speech, you can't have hate speech. You have laws against that. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, well, requiring someone to provide ID or show their face to vote is considered hate.
What is Red Space, Shani? I think that's the name, right? I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Archive.is. What is this? Because I screen recorded a lot of Portland Andy, Impulse Tuner, and a couple other streamers. Hours and hours.
Well, you put the page that you see it, you put it as it is, you copy paste the link, and you put it in where it said put your URL you want it to be saved on the archive.is. So then at exactly that time, it's saved. So it cannot be modified, even if like some fake video come out with that image. Like when you archive it, it's archived exactly at that moment. So there's a lot of video, picture stuff that probably will be deleted. But if you archive it, it can never be deleted. If people get their phone broken or whatever happen, if it's archived on that side, it will be safe forever. And yes, all the live stream, after they've been live streamed, there are videos of it. So just put the link and that full video will be archived as it is at that moment that you put it.
Well, that's just it, Fired Up. They don't want us protesting. They want to mute the fringe minority. They don't want us getting the word out. That's why they're saying it's all made up and doctored and everything else.
I saw the screenshots, but I haven't seen the video of where he said that the video was altered.
You know, I read or heard on one of the streams, either this morning or last night, that half of the Ottawa Police Department has resigned, and that's why they had to bring in all the cops from all over.
Mikey Likey, yes, the UN landed in Ottawa the other day.
I think this is the picture that kind of started it all, and then somebody drove by and got a video of the plane actually sitting there, and there's a link to it up above just a bit. Do you have a link for that, for the cop and the little girl, and the one that took a knee? Can you post the links, please? I'd like to see it. I saw that one last night. I loved it.
Ty, but really, how embarrassing if they're really talking or thinking that. And they probably are. Like, we're such a joke right now.
Oh, absolutely they are. And it's not just him that they're doing it about. They're doing it about Biden, too.
Well, that's because there's a serious bromance going on there.
You know that. Yeah, post the clip. Feel free. Those are some of the ones I found last night. Yeah, I think Rebel News has already filed a lawsuit about that.
Is there no live feeds going on anywhere in Canada today?
There was some earlier, not so much any right now. Ottawa's been shoved to the outskirts of town, and even then the cops were trying to push them away from there, trying to get them to go off into this little corner where nobody could see them to do their protest, and they told them, no, we're not leaving. This is where we're going to be.
Well, of course they would. Any news on the Calgary one? I heard Calgary was pretty big today.
Nothing so far, but let me check YouTube real quick. Dozer Girl, that's Travel Fun 69. That's his channel name. Yeah, Dozer Girl, if you're on the channel, new to the channel, Les opens it up every once in a while, so just keep an eye out for it. But until you've interacted a little while and everybody's gotten a feel for you, then he'll make it so you can talk. But again, like I said, you have to listen and just communicate on the text for a while. Well, I guess you better start speaking up. Well, fire it up. It's the same thing as I just said. You have to be on here for a while. Mods need to get to understand your typing and how you communicate and things like that, and just watch for the talk feature to be turned on. And once everybody gets a feel, then Les makes the determination. Okay, don't kill the reposter, but I find this kind of interesting, honestly. The resemblance is uncanny.
Uncanny? That's not uncanny. That's like clonage. Like unreal clonage. And here's the thing. A lady had done a study on Pierre Trudeau because he was actually, I believe, 63 or 65. And Margaret was only in her 20s, I think 23 or 26, somewhere in there. She was out screwing all the heads and all the dictators and having all these kids. That's why none of the kids actually really even look alike. But that's because guess what? Papa Trudeau was impotent. That's a fun fact.
Well, then that explains an awful lot.
Wow, I had no idea he was impotent. I've seen those pictures, and there's absolutely no denying it that they're identical. But wow, Queen, I did not know that.
A lady did a study on him and had it in Wabika, whatever it is on there, and it was removed because of the speculation. Now, I've been pushing Maury because I was actually on Maury Povich. Yeah. I was on Maury Povich, guys, here in Canada. They brought me to the States right after September 11th. And so they took it off because of the controversy, but she had written up. I should actually try and go look for it again because it was this lady that was doing biographies and in-depth knowledge of the Trudeau family due to these facts, right? So, but they blocked her apparently because it was probably Trudeau. He's like, I'm not Castro's son. Yes, I am. That he can't know that. Kind of thing. So, I'm pushing Maury. I'm like, yeah, you should get him on there for DNA like that. And like that should be something that should be brought to light, even if he dies. Hopefully, oh, did I say that out loud? Um, when he passes on, that they should check that out. I didn't say version of Maury in Canada. I said they brought me from Canada into the States for Maury at Penn Plaza. Penn Plaza is about 10 blocks from where the Twin Towers are in New York. Yeah, my girlfriend was on Jenny Jones too. She went on because she was a bad, bad girl. And she was one of the last ones actually that went to boot camp when they found out that that Texas boot camp was giving diseases to people and they were getting like these diseases in their ears and stuff. I don't know if you remember that. And also my friends were on the actual Canadian show, which is Camilla Scott. And they were on that one, but I believe Jen Beach was the girl doing it at the time because Camilla Scott wasn't around. But yeah, so, and also Steve Wilkos has been calling for me to go on his show for another issue. So, and I think I'm going to eventually, when I feel good enough and all this BS is over, I think I'll swing over there and do a show for Steve Wilkos. He called me. So, yeah, well, he didn't. His producer did. So then I'll make it 2 for 2.
Wow, did I steer the pot with that post, huh?
Well, we got to get some chat going here, right? Like seriously, like it's just like I love people that are like, how do you know that's Castro? What do I have to prove to you? Why can't you open your eyes and see it for yourself? How do you deny that? They've had experts put their heads over top of each other and their skulls are the same. Don't come at me with, oh, how do you know? Um, Wake up. Those are the people that we have issues with, and we need to turn over and send Jesus in their life because they are not supportive in my eyes. If they can't see that, I'm sure that they can't see what's going on with the liberals, period. Hey Fuji or Care Bear. Just from what I was sleeping because I was up on here monitoring till about 6 in the morning. But from what I've heard is that they pushed the line out to they're on the outskirts of the red zone, but they're also being violent with them still, even though they're outside the red zone. So that's the last I had heard. I don't know about any arrests and release. We were discussing it yesterday about them getting released, but they were getting released on conditions that they like for Pat King. I don't know if he's released. These are just the ones that we know were arrested, so don't misconstrue that in any way. But that's like Chris Barber, Pat King, the Freedom Bob, Tamara. Although they give them, we're assuming that they're given paperwork to sign, and then they're made to go home and say that they're not going to leave. And I think they're getting monitored if they do leave. So that's kind of where we're at right now at this point, as far as factual things go. And then there's obviously everybody's speculation. So I don't know. There's very few live feeds at this point, is what I was seeing. But if anybody's got any, you want to throw them up there for care. We're not sure if Pat's been released. I just said those are the major heads that they've, targeted and went and arrested. We do know Chris Barber was released, but he, like I said, he was given paperwork and he's not allowed to leave and he's not allowed to come back to that area for these purposes or whatever. So that's as far. We're just assuming that that's what happens with them too, is that they have to sign paperwork and stuff stating that they're leaving, going back home, and not coming back. So, but we don't know. We're not confirmed if Pat King has been released. We don't know if Freedom Bob has been released. The only ones we know of, I think Tamara. I'm not sure. She had a court case, is the last I saw. But Chris Barber and Zot, the streamer, they are both released.
Yeah, so article last night said that both Pat and Tamara are being held until Tuesday. Tamara, I think the reason they are holding her until Tuesday is because of the fact that they're pinpointing her as the head of the whole thing and as the main person.
And also, Care Bear, sorry, back to what you were saying of what happened. There was a video released this morning with the cops trying to bully a company that's downtown Ottawa who stayed open to patrons and was serving them, and they locked the doors on them and they were threatening to smash their windows open. And the cops weren't wearing badges, they weren't wearing any, they just had the outfits on. So they were actually assuming and thinking that they were bylaw officers, that the guy that owned the company that they were trying to smash the windows, he says he's seen him around and he's not a cop, he's a bylaw officer. So he told them, smash my windows. And they actually walked away and I haven't heard since. But that was one of the major things, is now they're going into people's companies and stuff and telling them that they can't continue on with their business, and that they have to close because there are people in there, and threatening to smash their windows open. Shelly, that's interesting. I actually want to go. Do you have a link for that you could post up here? I would like to know more about that because that's BS too, right? Like you can take that freedom of protest in any situation away from someone because of this. Yeah, no, that's BS. PK 306, are you PK as in PK Saskatoon? Because I know what PK means. Is that legit or what's going on there, pal?
Well, I saw a post pop up on from TikTok yesterday from Big Red, which is his handle on TikTok, and it was basically just a meme of freedom. I'll see if I can find it.
Here's another thing that I had heard. Zoe, I had heard was that they were actually trying to pull some Saskatoon BS. I don't know if you guys were aware of the Neil Stonechild case where they were dropping natives off at the Queen Elizabeth Energy Center. Hold on. They were dropping, sorry, my dog was being obnoxious. You can hear her in the background there. And they were dropping off natives and they were dying. Well, it's kind of seems like that's what they're doing here. One of the protesters said that when they were arrested, they actually took them to the outskirts of town and just dropped them off. Do you guys see similarities there? Like, this is wrong in all levels.
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, there was another protester, um, or no, it was the YouTuber, the garage guy, said they dropped him off. Was it 45 minutes outside of town at a shopping center, and the cops gave him a mask and said, "Well, you have two choices to go in to stay warm, and either one you'll need this mask," and gave him a mask and then left. Um, and here's the TikTok I found that was posted by Chris yesterday. It wasn't the freedom one, but I thought it was. But it's hilarious. Newsweek is kind of. It used to be a reliable news source, and I think it kind of went away. It's kind of a medium, somewhere in between. No, fired up. It literally came across my news feed yesterday when it popped up on my phone yesterday. Maybe it was, I don't know, but it only came across to me yesterday. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that Bridget is off somewhere laying low. It would be my guess, and so is anybody else associated with the whole convoy leadership group. That would be my guess. I know that Tom has been the last standing person to publicly speak, and the way he's talked and the way he's been, I'm just got a sneaking suspicion that even though he says the police don't have a warrant for his arrest, there might be some like side deal or something saying you do this to help calm things down and we'll maybe look at letting you off or something. It something doesn't smell right.
We have to remember that, like this is a first time for everybody. There's a lot of things going on. We don't know how to handle it. Even the cops are like all disarray. Like we said, we got mall cops and .04s. They're not even 5.0s. You know, Their .04s out there, and they don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know what the hell's going on. So it's like it's kind of a dance. You know what I mean? It's kind of a chess game. And for the last commenter there that was asking about live updates and everything, because they've been following, like, we're trying, but we don't know what the heck's going on either, because we're all, winging it. We're trying our best to handle this the best way we can without any, sit down and be like, okay, here's the plan, because you can't plan for this, because it's, never happened in our history. So it's been very difficult, needless to say.
And try and see what I can dig up here in a little bit. I'm just making some vanilla and possibly cinnamon extract right at the moment.
James and Sandra Balder that had the motorhome that was getting all the signatures on it, they did a live feed where they said that their motorhome was confiscated and they were set outside the red zone, and they have to find a way from there, but they lost everything that was in their motorhome.
Yeah, I even heard and on the live feed that they weren't towing trucks, they were actually bulldozing them. Like, why? Why do you have, you know, the audacity to wreck these guys' vehicles? You can't even be classy about it. Like, man, and the thing is that we're going to go after the government after all said and done. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm getting some residential money, and guess what, a lot of it's going to go to lawyers' fees to retain, because I'm going to sue the asses, pardon my French, off of some of these people that caused me, trauma during this, fighting me about my mask when I have a mask exemption. Who do you think you are, telling me and overriding a doctor's, note stating that I cannot physically wear a mask, and you think you have the authority to tell me no, you have to? No, no, no. So I'm going to be, taking this a little bit further, but man, they're sure going to have to pay a heavy duty. They think they're paying out to the natives right now. Wait till you pay out to all of Canada for all this BS and everything that they did, wrecking trucks and, causing people's marriages to fall apart, suicides and families, full well knowing that this is the reason why these things are happening. Yeah, they're going to have a hell to pay. And the sad part is it's going to be the taxpayers paying. They should be taking Trudeau's effing money that he gets because he was the prime minister. Did you guys know that when you become the prime minister, your severance pay is like, I think it's like $750,000 a month. No, you can pay it back to us for everything you did, pal. I really hope we can do that, you guys, because he doesn't deserve a penny.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the thing is even when things start to go wrong for people that have taken the vaccine, they have no recourse, absolutely none. Because even though the FDA has approved the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, it's not the vaccines that you're getting. You're still getting the experimental ones. So they can say that it was because it was experimental. There is no recourse on them, and that anything, even if you go back and you say, well, it was approved and you guys approved it and all this and that. No, that's not the vaccine that you guys were being given.
Trudeau knows that he just has to hold his side, and getting any financial gain or restitution, I doubt anybody is going to see it in their generation of time. Like it'll be drug out so long and so far that there won't be anyone left to even testify in court, and that's what a typical narcissistic abuser counts on is, they know that the system works in their favor. We really do live in a times where the law is truly unjust.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that a lot of the tickets and stuff like that will be thrown out. And other stuff, though, the other stuff that they're doing where they're destroying people's lives, freezing the bank accounts and all of that kind of stuff, they're going to get away with it. They will absolutely get away with it. There will be no accountability for it. It's just like all the other governments around the world, including the United States, where they do something like that. They'll pull it off, and then there'll be no accountability because it was a state of emergency. And it's sad. It's really, really super sad. And like I said earlier, I think that the $20 million that the government is going to come up with to pay all those shop owners for their being closed for three weeks is going to be from the confiscated funds from the people that were arrested, and they're going to try to include the people that were protesting. Yes, three annoying little parakeets. Sorry, I had to plug in because my phone's almost dead from this thing.
Attention all mods, can you please not give any information as to the new 302 Coventry, as there are trolls trying to get the location. Please do not put that out on the airwaves, only to people that are trustable. Thanks.
Yeah, same here.
So I kind of have talked to anybody who doesn't know me as moderator. If you guys see that stuff, please bounce those people out of here. I don't monitor this chat too much, but I am trying to take care of cross-referencing trolls between both channels. So if you can and you see stuff like that, just bounce them right out of here. Block and mute, or block and prohibit talking. Then we know why they're bounced.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. I just wasn't sure you hadn't disclosed that to me. But like I said, I did see that, and I wasn't sure how we were going to handle that. But yeah, and you're on main channel here.
Sorry, Queen, I'd step all over you right there. Sorry. Yeah, no, you're fine, CJ. Yeah, I agree with that. I probably should be, but I kind of do play with these guys all the time and make them real upset on their live stream by doing this too, call them out right in the chat. So, but yeah, no, I hear you. We'll mod chat next time.
Oh, that's crazy, Sully. Yeah, I want to get pure elites the next time. But I think I'm going to take a break from them after these guys are gone for a little while.
Well, the thing is that, we came in this till the end, and until it's over, this isn't over. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I ain't singing for a long time, guys.
Amen, Queen Bee, amen.
Boston went his own way. As you know, there's been differences. I was on plus, now I'm over here. And we'll just leave it at that. He's still a good guy. I still, appreciate him once in a while, and he's doing all right, guys, so no worries there. I will let him know. It's just, everybody has their opinions about everybody, and we had some different opinions, and so we just thought the peaceful way would to be to us just disperse, and that's what happened. And yeah, he's doing well. I'll let him know that you said hello.
Truckers are our heroes. I don't know that anybody has any of that information, sadly. Again, truckers are heroes. You're talking about hours of streaming. The best thing to do would be to try reaching out to maybe the streamers directly and see if they can help you. But I don't think anybody has the time to sit back and watch hours upon hours upon hours of streaming.
And that might be a question better asked on one of the Facebook groups. I don't think there's a lot, like we don't have anything set up for any of that kind of stuff. That's probably information you would get off one of the Facebook groups.
Yeah, great thinking, North. I forgot about those. Well, I think it'll eventually come down, Dwayne. But it took 6 months, 8 months for it to come down around the Capitol. So I think it'll eventually come down. But I'll guarantee you they probably already have it back up around the Capitol right now with the fact of the convoy coming to town. On a side note, Les just shared something out on Twitch, and it looks like the area, where Coventry is, where they had all the supplies and stuff like that. I think, based on the voice I was hearing, there was a fire there. And so it looks like there wasn't much there last night when you, Ottawa Scotty, went there and looked and stuff, but apparently a shed or a van was on fire.
Dwayne, on your note there, that's Castro's way of making the Great Wall of China. Didn't you know that? That's the Great Wall of China there. Yeah, Starlight's around. He actually got a tattoo with the rest of the mods. Me and Whiskey are going to get ones done too. We couldn't be there with them in Ottawa yesterday. And we got tattoos to remember the moments and to know that we were part of the mod team or whatever and so forth. So he was around. He's still kicking. Just like I said, we just go our different ways, and if it doesn't work out, then we just kind of...
So I actually seen Star Medic last night. He's doing quite well. I seen him last night. He got a tattoo for the convoy, and so did I and Cinderella and Foxy, and yeah, we were all hanging out last night. And I'll drop a link to a video that was done last night with Starlight if you guys want. Queen, call me.
Hope you found or caught some fish. Sounds good. Sounds like fun.
Here in the interior of BC, one of the local media outlets actually acknowledged the protests are growing weekly, which is quite a step for them. They've been disparaging the protests every week, but it's quite an acknowledgement.
I suppose this isn't about Ottawa. It's not about Ottawa. It's about the whole it's getting to be North America is what's turning into. It's like I'm hearing rumblings of same thing going on in the United States as what's happening here right across Canada.
Well, they're not just rumblings, Les. They're coming on. There's been little small ones happening all over the place already. And the thing is the more protests that keep happening up in Canada, they can't delegitimize all of them. And that's going to make it even better when it comes out, comes to going to court and things like that for what happened in Ottawa. How can they deny it? They can't sit there and say it was an illegal protest when they're happening all over the country.
Yeah, copy that. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. I'm not even going to comment on history. History is what it is. People do strange things in strange times.
I can't think of anything more strange than what I saw yesterday and the day before, with all that conglomeration of LEOs and who knows what behind those masks and uniforms. From whence they came, just wild stuff. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, and on that note, Coach, I had mentioned earlier that when they were doing that video of that guy standing up for his business and they were going to smash his windows, he knew one of those guys there that they were a bylaw officer. So now you become a cop that can dictate and beat people down and you're a .04. That's disturbing.
Oh man, has it gotten ridiculous? People are getting beat up over the common cold. Isn't that what it boils down to? But on a more positive note, there's a lot of people out there right now. I saw a couple hundred people out there over on the southeast boundary. In fact, you can hear maybe a little bit in the background there. There's, like you might have gotten rid of the trucks from Ottawa. It was just a matter of...
If you haven't already, folks, please feel free to subscribe.
But you've still got a whole bunch of people that are out there protesting outside of that red zone there. And, I might say they're just the same people, the same protesters, the same peaceful protesters. So, I don't know what everyone is going to call them now, because they're not even in Ottawa red zone. They're outside of the Ottawa red zone. So just to describe the scene, it's like the police are there with the blockade on the road to go into Ottawa at the red zone perimeter. And then you've got a bunch of people standing on the other side of the road, basically the freedom fighters. Earlier there was a few hundred people there. Now it's dwindled down at this particular location. Not sure if there's anything going on at any other location. But there are some people out there anyways. I would guess maybe less than 100 at the moment. So that's the scene right now.
Chef has a YouTube video or live streaming right now, and it looks like there's probably 100 or less there. But what I really like is that even though it's apparently illegal to honk your horns right now, there's 2 or 3 cop cars parked there on the road, and every person that's going by the protest is all blaring on their horns.
Yeah, I just did another quick look. I'd say there's 100 people there, at least 100 people. If it makes any difference. But they're just out there in support, and they're yelling freedom and support of freedom. But it shows you that people are still out there, and it's pretty cold weather. And it's all impromptu because now that everyone got pushed out of Ottawa, the first thing that you might think would be, well, where does everyone meet? And like all day long, nobody knew where anyone was going to even meet. So I guess some people are just kind of showing up and figuring out where they're meeting. And I would say that they're not illegal protesters. They're Mr. Trudeau's legal protesters. Although it's pretty hard, when people are painting the same people with different brushes all the time to figure out who's what these days.
Well, that just means Trudeau will probably have to change the definition of what's a legal protest again.
Well, or does a protest become illegal when you park your truck on the street, illegally? Then the protest becomes illegal, I guess.
Yeah, you have to consider the intention of the protest. If it's something that is something Trudeau believes in, then you're okay. Park anywhere.
The link that I posted, I think it was CBC. Apparently, CSIS is now investigating.
What investigation needs to be done? Like, it's plain as day what's going on here. I do not understand why. Like I said, I guess I came into politics too late, and I just don't understand why we just can't say, you know what? All of us think that you shouldn't be there, so get out. I know there's procedures, but I'm just like cut to the chase BS kind of thing, and it's very frustrating.
Maybe considering that it was, for the most part, a peaceful protest, for the most part, maybe that's what scared him.
Yeah, he tried to get us to get angry and I do not believe that there weren't people there that were ready to snap, and so proud they kept their composure. And you're right, that's probably what scared him, because he tried his damnedest to make us turn to be these people that he's portraying us as, and it didn't work. Just like dividing us, it didn't work. It kind of kicked him in the butt, and now we're all united, and he's like, oh, damn.
That's a great point. And out here, there's counter protesters, damaging vehicles and convoys, and just trying to spur on that violence or that next level, and people aren't biting. It's great.
Besides the interactions with the police and stuff, the only videos I'm seeing of people that are starting crap is the anti-protesters, but I've yet to see anybody post a video of one of the protesters themselves going and starting crap, even though you hear all kinds of people say, oh, there's this report and that report, blah, blah, blah. Well, where's the video evidence?
Right, and that's what I'm saying, is that we may think, but what we want to do, but we're more classy about it. You can always think things, it's whether you act on them. And we held our composure so well. I'm really proud. I'm proud and embarrassed at the same time. Yeah. But you know what? I'm super proud of our people. Like, I love every single person that was down there. And every single person that was down there, if you're listening in here, I love you, and I'm very, very proud of you, because I know sitting at home here how hard it is to keep my composure, not breaking these instruments, slamming, my phone and throwing it. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much, Miigwech.
Not saying that there wasn't some arseholes down there that went in looking for a fight, and there probably was. I mean, a big crowd like that, regardless of who it's protesting for or what side they're on, you're going to come across some real idiots that are just looking to cause trouble. So, I mean, we all know that they were down there on both sides, but for the most part, when you consider the size of that crowd, I think we did pretty good. Or, I mean, I wasn't there, but, I think people supporting the convoy did pretty good.
Miller, we're going to have those one or two or three that are going to cause, problems because it's human nature. It's just like us, at one time, me and my partner were talking about it, how, maybe this is an experiment with these vaccinations because you're going to have ones that don't take it, so they're going to do studies on them, and then they're going to have the ones that do take it, and they're going to do studies on them. So they need both in order to figure it out, if you get me there. If you're kind of feeling me there. So yeah, there's going to be those a-holes that come in and they have to be different. We wouldn't be Canada if there wasn't, girl. Right? Right, guys? Go Canada.
I have to try too hard to be different. I just am. Husband in the background very much agrees. Quite catch what Wizard was saying earlier about Coventry or something. What we're not supposed to share or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to keep chat about things like that under wraps. So if we see people talking about, locations and stuff, we're supposed to get rid of them. Yeah, just that's all you need to know. Okay, and that's all I know.
Still able to share the live feeds of the people that are still protesting?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. No. It's just when they're talking about location as to where this secret spot is or this spot is, it's speculation, and we don't need, people going to spots thinking that something's happening and stuff is kind of the idea I'm getting anyway.
Better understood.
And on that note, if we have something to say about it and you need it to be heard, go into mod chat and we'll be able to all hear in mod there, girl.
Live feed to somewhere on the outside of Ottawa, doing still protesting. I'm not 100% sure which road they're on though.
So I'm watching live feed on Brant here, and I'm seeing how few there are out there protesting. And it just kind of, made me feel a little sad for a minute. But, I'm sitting here thinking that maybe the way I should look at it is, we may have gotten kicked out of Ottawa, but we made our point. And maybe we're going to just play that little game with, Castro that he plays with us, where he thinks he's probably sitting back there thinking he won. So it gives him that, little bit of boost. Kind of like when he, made us wear masks and then we got to take them off. So we got feeling better. But, the bomb is coming. The bomb's coming there, Trudeau. And I don't think you understand quite what's happening here. And so I'm going to look at it in that light because he was playing this mind game with us, mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off. Now we're playing it back. So I'm just going to look at it in a light view because for a minute there, you guys, I was sad. There isn't the amount of people there. And yeah, I'm proud of the ones that still are though. Thank you so much. Miigwech. Ooh, it's eerily silent right now.
I was just
eating the fish.
darn it, sorry. There's an article saying that it's being investigated about the horses stepping on people, but it's a police watchdog group that is part of the government, so that's probably going to be kind of a joke.
I 've 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 've
Yeah, they know they need to use the independent RCMP investigation. They're the ones that are on the other side that investigate RCMP wrongdoings. Um, I don't know if those ones are run by government, but I could be wrong.
Most watchdog groups are not run by government because they're actually investigating the cops.
Oh, sorry. That's what I thought. Because I had them actually investigate the RCMP on an investigation. And they made it clear to me that they are not involved in anybody else. They're ex investigators in RCMP themselves that are in there to catch the wrong ones in there. So I don't know if they are run by government, but like I said, I could be wrong.
Years ago, I witnessed, I was doing security at an event down east, and I witnessed somebody die in an accident. And I guess the police investigative people were calling the other guards that also witnessed the accident and talking to them because they were actually investigating the cops, and they needed to make sure that the cops were actually in the clear and not in the wrong. And in that case, they were actually in the clear, that the guy was entirely in the wrong on his own. In all honesty, the guy was in the wrong. So was the bartenders and the bar staff and the security that was at that bar, which was not our company, and anybody else who saw the guy get on his bike and drive off, and instead of doing anything to stop it, they videotaped and laughed at him. Any incident involving the police, they do have an outside group that does investigate them.
That says it's an independent government watch group, I think. Hold on, I'll check and see what it says again. It says it's an independent government agency. So that seems kind of weird. That seems, if it's independent, how is it a government agency?
Well, I guess look at it this way. If they are snaky like that, then that's just another snake that we don't trust and we can throw aside that's discredited. You know, sometimes, like, even with our channel here, you know, we have to let people show their true selves before we realize who they are to get rid of them. So if that's the case, then that's the case, right? We have to do it that way. So let's trust for now because we're Canadian. But if they mess up, then we know, right?
So is the SIU government agency or no?
I think so, but I'm not sure.
I might be silent, but I'm quick. Thank you.
Are we getting out of hand here, guys? Are we losing focus here? I'm kind of feeling some tension here right now in the group. Are we going to have to shut off the chat, text chat, or what? With regards to other channels besides the ones that you can't really talk on, which is Convoy East, Convoy West, Convoy Coots, I believe. This is the only one we're related to, so we don't know what goes on over there. Okay, so if you've been booted, that's not our issue. That's a total different group of people. There are some that cross, being sharpshooters and stuff from channel to channel. But as far as what goes on as the admin team with you, we have no clue. Sorry about that. On that note, actually, no. I know rapists, pedophiles, and murderers that are actually getting funded by the government on welfare. So, isn't this wonderful, right?
A small number of protesters in Ottawa. I'm not sure what the numbers are in Calgary or what they're like in Montreal or Toronto.
So that's a hard one because when you think about it, that's how they kind of control us by forcing us to do taxes because in order to do taxes, you get your GST, you get your baby bonuses, you get, all these things. And with COVID, with us being ripped out of our jobs and now the vaccination making us choose our jobs, there's a lot of people that are relying on government help because that's all they can do to feed their children. So not doing their taxes, I struggle with that one because it's like, how do you tell somebody not to do that when it's the hand that's feeding you? And that's the sick part of all this, is that there's no way else to go sometimes, and people feel lost. And on the other hand, too, I come from Saskatchewan, and I know I'm a youth care part social worker on the streets there, and I know a lot of girls and women have babies because that's money to them. They're not going to, vote down the government and, whatever else and not do their taxes. So it's a tough one, that's for sure.
I think didn't have enough big crisis for people to be united and restart the system over again. You need like a big crash, like a war, for something like that to happen. So I think for us, what we have to do is get involved in our community and one person at a time change it by opening their eyes and waking up on that, and then elect trust people, that will have a voice on parliament for us. Like Queen said, people are used to the system of getting them paid, get you tax refund, people on welfare. People have too much security, and we're Canadians all live like millionaire. Like everybody have a cell phone, you go to a third world country that only like really rich people own the cell phone. Now our kids own cell phone. So we live like too comfortable, so it's impossible to restart again. The only way is to get in the system, support the good people that will have a voice for us. In school board, in municipal election and provincial election, that's how you can change it. And maybe we won't see it from our time, but the next generation will see it. So you always fight for the future, not for the past.
Watching the live feed from France. Wow, is that one hell of a crowd.
Yeah, I see what that kid's saying. I don't know if Bear's from India, but from a French point of view, my point of view, I think he's not saying what.
Shani, we talking mod chat there, girl?
I'm all confused when you guys do that, the mod and not mod. Okay, next time I'm gonna try to pay attention and be more fast on that. Yeah, that's excellent. I will remember that.
Could have been a live feed that was done earlier in the day. But yeah, it's still one head of a crowd.
Right? Because we're all so deadly over here. We just got so much to talk about. I feel like sometimes people are sick of hearing what I have to say, so I just shut up. It's the best way to go. Honeybee, I don't know, but did you notice that they were like, it's like they were bingo dabbed with pieces of paper and safety pins with like A1 on them and stuff? Like they're the A1 team with Mr. T. Yeah, buddy. Like it just goes to show that they're like fly by night, right? Like, okay, let's photocopy these ones. You take this one and I'll attach it to your back with some safety pins and we'll get out there and we'll start beating Canadians.
Post a link into the chat, and everybody in here really needs to listen to it. This is why we're saying the media is listening in. It is literally a media story that was done on Zello and all of the people that are using these channels. You will recognize most of the voices that are on there. We should say hi to Jamie, the reporter from CBC.
Miller, yeah, we saw that already because Addie Clover went nuts. You know, making sure that everybody saw that she was on there. So yeah, we had a whole day of, let's see Addie Clover's name on there. But yeah, that was an awesome thing. They are listening to us, and that was the first positive thing that came out of this when it was going down about the media. They covered us really well, and we really appreciated it.
Did a really good job.
The current situation is that it's, pretty calm, cool, and collective as it's always been. Not so many out there. It's pretty cold because they've pushed the lines back. They did raid Coventry. That was noted on YouTube streamers. They got them out of there. Took a couple of trucks by towing. And they're still out there strong, holding the line for a few of them, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. But know this, it's far from over. I hope you guys realize that, right? It's far from over. Honey, you talking about our group when we were on East and we were talking and when we were over there?
It's all good. I get to hear your voice again before I fall asleep, so I know that there's peace in the world. Thank you.
Tile just trying to be secretive over there now that he figured out how to run our app.
It's kind of weird going back and looking at history that you knew as a child that you're now an adult. Because some of the things coming across my feed from 30 years ago and then rewatching as an adult, I look at it completely differently now.
Yeah, but do you not see like the similarities of what they were going through? Like I bring it up quite often how we used to think grandma and grandpa were so crazy for putting their money in their bed in the walls, hiding it here and there, and then they get dementia and forget, and you're like, whoa, there's $10,000 right there in that vase, right? And it's like, now you understand.
Okay, quit making me laugh and giving away where I'm hiding money at.
Farmhouse that I lived in as a teenager, there was actually a floorboard you could lift up, and there was like a safety box under there.
Right? Like, what other choice do we have? And then they wonder why we rip apart the house. We know your secret. It's in the walls. We're gonna find it. And then you get stone cold stiffed for it because it's like, oh, it's spent already. Everybody knew where it was. One of my exes, his father hid some in the wall behind the Pink Floyd picture, and it was like written in code. So they did this big excavation of this wall on this motorhome because, or not motorhome, like a mobile home, because there was this money there, and it turned out to be like only like a couple $100. It costed more to get it out there so prettily so that it didn't wreck it, right? It was quite amusing actually.
Vibes, there is a very small group in Ottawa tonight, but I think everybody else is probably in the other cities.
Don't you think that's crazy that we can all, like all of us, tell that story about our grandparents? That's how serious it was, and that's how legit serious it is in this matter too, I feel. Ty, you can come out of moderator chat, right? Because also with moderator chat, if anything else is going on, it cuts out everything else that's going on to everybody. So we try to use it sparingly when we only need to. So yeah, you should join the conversation because people are probably wondering what I'm saying here and why.
Now let's just move back to the main channel.
Okay, Bingo, I'm not sure then what's wrong. You might have to turn up your volume or something, but you're not blocked in here. You don't get to speak on the mic, if that's what you're wondering. That's for moderators. And only part-time when Wes, whoops, sorry, Wes. When Les is opening chat. So, yeah, you can't talk on the mic unless that's open. and that's rare due to Ram Ranch. And yeah, you can always text though, girl, or I don't know if you're a girl or a guy, sorry. We can see you.
Can you hear us now?
Well, they certainly ran that reporter out of the area, though, didn't they? That was some pretty intense heckling going on. You know, what people have to realize is that even if they don't like that media, let them come. They can't spin it if you're having a peaceful protest. There's no way they can possibly spin it. The heckling helps their cause, in honesty. If they would, you want to tell them, report it fairly. Report what you see here. Put them on the spot right then and there and call them out for what they've been misrepresenting. But heckling them right out of there, I don't know that helps the cause. But then that's why you have to call them out right then and there in their report, on their reporting. Well, that's when you have somebody else doing the videotaping at the same time. And then you run them side by side. And then you can say who's lying.
Definitely sounds fake. I don't think a lot of people understand that the United Nations airplanes actually get fixed in, I think it was North Bay or Thunder Bay, wherever it is that they flew in. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so North Bay anyways is where they actually go to get fixed, so it's not unusual to see United Nations planes there. But again, right now everybody's kind of on edge, so.
It's always good to have a comedian chime in just to help lighten it up a little bit.
Already got boots on the ground in Calgary where they can actually show what's going on.
Sorry, just been boots on the ground in Ottawa.
Have much of a choice but to give it up, because quite honestly I do see that there's going to be more and more people that are just going to defy the orders and go about living their life.
Absolutely. That's already happening here in the States. I live in a rural town, and I'd say 95% of the people are going around maskless, and you're still supposed to wear masks.
It's going to start with just getting people to stop wearing the masks. Like, the more and more people stop wearing the masks, then they're going to start not following Trudeau's lead anymore, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's even true here. Our mask mandates are supposed to end like March 21st or something like that, but they're trying to make them a permanent fixture so that they can implement them at any given time instead of the emergency powers all the time. That's what they keep doing. But it just needs to stop. I mean, when this all first started, I found out that the virus was a .03 micron, and it wasn't going to be stopped by cloth masks. It's not going to be stopped by the paper masks that they keep giving out free to everybody. It's not even stopped by the N95 mask. The only mask that's actually going to properly stop it would be the N99 or the N100. So, I mean, this whole time it's been all a facade and a control measure.
Washes their mask every day anyways. Like, most people probably don't wash their mask once or twice a day.
Honestly, I have a ton of masks. I do. And I've maybe worn them all once, but I'll wear the same mask for months because I have it hanging in my car. And so if I have to go into the store, I'll wear that same mask that's been hanging in my car for months. I have washed mine very little.
It's really not doing anything then. And same as most other people's, it's just not doing anything. If people just stop wearing them, then that kind of takes more control away from the government, because then they're like, oh crap, nobody's listening anymore.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We took one from my daughter's workplace and put it under the microscope, and you will never, ever catch me putting one of them on. And I often sit and wait for my daughter to get off work because she doesn't drive. And I watch old men blow their nose on it when they come out. I watch women stuff it in their purse. Masks are the most disgustingly gross things I've ever seen handled in my life. And there is nothing sanitary. We actually confronted what we called RoboCop when we were protesting, and I told him, I says, you have not handled that mask once appropriately, and he admitted it. And I says, then how can you fine us for not wearing the mask that you yourself will not wear properly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's just it. We have OSHA here. I don't know if you guys have OSHA in Canada, but here in the States we have OSHA. And at first, they made it where any business that was open to the public had to wear masks, but they also had to police the public coming in and demand that they wear masks. Well, this last time we went back into a mask mandate, it started off that way, but then they changed it where instead of the business being fined if somebody wasn't wearing a mask, it was the individual. And once they made that way, people were like, screw you, I'm not wearing a mask.
Good for them.
Idea how it works here in Ontario for that. I don't know who pays the fine, if it would be me or the store owner.
Truth Social just released in the App Store on iPhone. Well, and that's fun. It's funny because in the beginning they said, "Oh, no, you don't need this. You just need to make these homemade masks, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It was just a scare tactic and a money grab.
Has anyone noticed that since this developed that strangers actually get in your personal space more than ever before? Because I found that people really get into my personal space without my permission. And before it was just a 6 feet respectful distance before, but no longer is it that. And it's with the mass people that get in my personal space that bothers me the most. When I go into the hospital for any reason, I find that they are the most unsanitary place going for since they did this masking, because they made me set my papers down where everybody places their stuff, and then they made me stand by a wall because they said I may be contagious, and everybody had a file by me, and it was like there's nothing that's logical. Like in the Red Deer Hospital, you got to throw masks right by the food court. You got to sign papers barehanded. Like, it doesn't make logical sense. Anything that they do in the hospital to supposedly protect the patients are people going in for testing.
Yeah, when I had to go to the hospital to do a nerve conductology test, they have a checkpoint out in the garage, the parking garage, where you have to check in. And they ask if you have your mask. You say, yeah, because you're wearing it. They tell you have to take your mask off and put one of their paper masks on. And then you have to walk the rest of the garage, outside, and then into the hospital. And then be in the hospital with their mask the whole time.
They take you right into the emerge, and then you're given a medical mask. They don't make you check in through a garage.
Here they do.
They put the test so far up my daughter's nose they caused her to bleed, and she was in quite severe pain for quite a while after because of how far they shoved the stick up her nose.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the worst thing in the world, because I had to have 2 tests done, one before each of my surgeries for my carpal tunnel, and it's the worst. It brings tears to your eyes.
I told the surgeon that did my test that I will not be doing any further testing, so I will take cancer before I will be subjected to the humiliation and degradation in the hospital that he works in. He apologized, and I said, don't apologize. Fix it. Resolve it, because this is crap. What you are doing to people that are exempt and have health issues is wrong, what we were put through in these hospitals.
Last January, I was supposed to go for a colonoscopy. I showed up at the hospital. I did not lie to them at all. I told them over the phone before I got there. I told them over the phone a couple of days beforehand whenever they phoned to confirm my appointment. And then I told them again when I got there that I had thrown up once 10 days prior. I still got up to the floor where they do the colonoscopies. The doctor took one look at my file, and I could hear him flipping out on the nurses. Came and told me that I had to leave and that I was being escorted out.
Nothing like feeling like a leper, is there? They can really do it fast.
I said, I told your nurse when they phoned here, like my house, before, like a couple of days before I came in, and I told the girls downstairs. So, and he said, I know. He said, it's just, you shouldn't have made it up this far. I don't know where the communication went wrong. And I said, well, I don't have COVID. And he said, you probably did have COVID. He said, you can have a headache and it could be COVID.
Everything can be COVID.
I was just going to say, you're bisexual, you're COVID. You have one arm, you're COVID. You sneeze to the left, you got COVID.
My mom had COVID, need emergency, and they refused to take her to the hospital. They just told me that she needs to die of something. Well, a doctor and 2 nurses. It is, they just want people to die, and it's really frustrating because I'm very good at doctoring my mother because there is no medical help left for her. She's 102, and this is the 3rd time the Emerge has directed the ambulance not to bring her in, and the 4th time before that, they grabbed her where she had 31 stitches, and when she screamed, they called her names. They F this and that at her, swore. She's an elderly lady, and she does not deserve the treatment that she's getting from the Alberta Health Service. And I am just so done, and I would love to see this whole medical system gone.
Emerged there a few nights ago, and you know there was hardly anybody there. There was hardly anybody in the emergency room waiting. There was only, I think, a couple of people, maybe 3 people back in the emergency area. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not overwhelmed because I have no idea what anybody else's issues were, but like it wasn't like they were running around in all kinds of suits and stuff because you know, some extreme emergency came in. Took us right into, because she went in by ambulance, so they took her right into the back. So she got treated for whatever was going on with her there pretty much right away.
Now, well, okay, one thing first. You're in mod chat. I think you didn't realize that. But yeah, I have a nail business. Check this out. I have a nail business. And I had gotten these hospital grade wipes for it, and they're called Cavi wipes. And they kill everything. It even states on it what they kill. These wipes, they were expired in 2012. And clear as day on the side of it says kills coronavirus.
Coronavirus has actually been around here for about a minimum of about 10 years. COVID-19, it was the newest strain, but the original coronavirus has been here for quite a long time.
Yep. And it's got strains components from SARS, which is the respiratory part of it, and then the strain component from HIV, which is the immune part of it. And that's why now there's speculation coming out that people are testing positive for HIV when they got the vax, because it's in there, right? Because vaccinations are giving you, you know, a little bit of what it is that you're trying to fight so that your body fights against it and can fight against it again, which obviously isn't working.
The vets are going to start pushing for the vaccines upon the animals, and so that should be another huge money grab for our Trudeau and others. And I'm not happy how they're attacking again our livestock industry. I wish they would just leave it alone.
Our dogs actually are born with the coronavirus in them.
Well, if you dig far enough into your body, you actually have everything in it. You just have to go far enough. Somewhere along the line, we have everything. That's why, your kids eat dirt and worms and so forth. And don't ever let your kids not eat those things, you guys. They need to.
I ate coal as a kid. Don't know why. My mom remembers me always digging in the coal pail and chewing on the coal.
Say I ate a lot of dirt as a kid. Up on a hobby farm, so surrounded with horses and, goats and whatever, so.
Yeah, I ate paint chips and did cow tipping. Just kidding, that's from Tommy Boy.
To the farmers out there, remembering the old salt blocks licking off them. When I saw my kids doing it, I just wanted to puke, and I'm sitting there, but I did it, and it didn't bother me, so why do I want to puke when my kid does it? So I turned my back and walked away and let my kid lick the salt block.
My grandfather kept trying to get me to eat tobacco, chewing tobacco. When I'd come to visit, he would say that it was a candy bar, and because he always had it in the fridge.
I got hit on the back trying a piece of that, and it went down. Tell you, never tried it again, that chewing tobacco.
Yeah, who doesn't? Man, I used to go out and stomp in the big old puddles on the corners. I even remember as a kid going, when I was in Canada for Christmas, in the snowdrifts, digging tunnels along the entire backyard. And I was out there for hours. Come in, my mom would have to peel my snow pants off because my legs would be pink.
My mom has some pretty hilarious stories because she went through the dirty 30s and things she tells that
So one of the things I would tell myself when I got really worried about coronavirus is I had 4 grandparents that survived it, and at least 2 of them didn't have running water at that time. So I'm going to make it through this too, just like they did.
Amen. We all are.
Pine Lake must be ramping up. My phone's cutting in and out, going in and off of a, and it's like they always tell me, well, it's because too many people are tapping in at Pine Lake.
The good old days of making tunnels and snowdrifts and the plow piles. Oh, yeah, good times.
We used to have turd fights in the spring in the corral to get a stick and just start winging it. My mom would sit there and see us coming, and she just very quietly lock the screen door and tell us to go wash up in the slough. And we would be covered from head to toe in poo.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Oh man.
Actually, it was a lot of fun because we had a blast doing that as kids.
What I enjoyed the most was being able to drive all over my adoptive parents' farmland in the vehicles from the farm at like 11, teen, and 12 years old. You could just run free. Those were the good old days.
Driving tractor at 7 was fun because you couldn't hit the brake and the clutch at the same time, so you had to get a little creative and learn how to dance back and forth, but figured it out. But it was interesting growing up because you learned a lot of diverse things that city kids don't have the opportunity to do.
The young girl that lives next door to me, I think she's 9. She's either 9 or she just turned 10. I forget which it is. This last summer, sitting out talking with her mom, and we're discussing how kids are these days and how they just, with the phones and the computers, they just don't do things group mentality wise like we did. And I was talking to her, I said, yeah, we used to do flashlight tag at night, and we used to ding dong ditch it. And right at that time, her daughter was there, and Brianna's like, what's ding dong ditch it? And she's like, Mike, don't. I'm like, ding dong ditch it is when you run up to somebody's house when it's dark, you ring the doorbell and you run. And then you hide in the bushes and you wait till the person comes to the door and then you laugh. And about a month ago, it was right after Christmas, all of a sudden I have my doorbell ring and I'm like, I don't see somebody out there. I go to the other door. Nope, nobody there. So I went to the back door again and look. And all of a sudden I see these little feet out in front of my truck. And I'm like, Brianna. She comes running out and she's like, I just played ding dong ditch it on you.
We called it knock knock ginger.
It's the prank phone calls on the party lines. Remember whenever you'd phone somebody and you'd ask if their fridge was running and they'd say yes, and then you'd tell them they better run after it?
Yep.
I had a fire phone in my house for years, and I get these weird calls from the neighbor that was drunk. She'd be phoning the fire phone, and is John there? And you say, this is a fire phone, it's an emergency phone. Yeah, but is John there? And you're like, just hang up your phone, and you try to go back to sleep, and a few minutes later, they'd phone again. It just a drive me nuts. Because we also had the party line, too, on our other phone, but that fire phone got kind of interesting the few years I had it in my home.
Before social media, whenever we actually went out and found things to do.
right, with the cool Garfield phone and taking your bike, your 10 speed, over to your friends rather than calling them or whatever, and you'd see everybody's bikes over there. It was like time to play the boys can't come into our meeting game.
Daughter actually even used to play flashlight tag, but they do it at night, and they'd play the ding dong ditch and stuff on the military bases we lived on.
I disconnected the TV every year in the spring till fall, and if my kids wanted a movie, they had to earn it doing chores, and then they would have to ride their bikes 3 miles and go rent the movie from the small store, and then the next day they'd have to ride the bike back. To this day, my daughter does not like TV in her house. She just doesn't know how to deal with TV because she never really grew up with it.
Hey, Miller, the whole series of messages you put out, can't hear anything on them. Wanda, isn't the Red Deer Hospital like the regional hospital for that whole area, for like Stettler and those areas there?
Yes, if you have to have certain testings, I know when my dad was alive, he was in Stettler, they have to go to Red Deer, so everything gets kind of pulled into Red Deer, and but it's very, it's not the best run hospital. They had, what did the Dr. Gary Davidson, he was the head of the Emerge, and he said they had, what was it, 1,200 ventilators? They haven't been able to find one. But for some reason, they're in the hospital somewhere, but nobody knows where they are. And I imagine they're not cheap, so we were kind of wondering who's got that money in the pocket because there's nothing to show it. He exposed a lot before he left his job because he knew they would fire him over him coming out vocally on things.
Well, nobody likes a whistleblower, right?
He exposed the dysfunctional in Alberta Health Service, how they're cutting back and how the problems wasn't created by the pandemic but was created by the bed cutting because our population's growing and yet they keep cutting the beds back in the emergencies and hospitals, and it's just he's a very well spoken man. I've actually had him 3 times in Emerge when I've had to go in. Very good doctor. We really lost a lot in our hospital, and I don't think a lot of the population is really aware of the truth here. The Red Deer Hospital also lost staff that refused to pay. They wouldn't get vaccinated, and they also refused to pay for the testing because in their view, accepting the testing meant that they believed that there was a pandemic, and they walked off their job. I have a couple friends that left the jobs in Red Deer over this because they said they refused to accept that this is a problem and to pay I think it's $400 a month to be tested on the job to keep it at the Red Deer Hospital just was not feasible for them. And not just financially, but emotionally, they could not support the path that the Alberta Health Service was going with them.
Hey, Bing OG 1945, can you message me, please? Hey, Queen, can you get me a timestamp for where he's asking so I can scroll up? I'm driving, so it's a little hard to look at this.
I think that's beautiful, Queen.
I'm not gonna lie. This experience has been one of the most emotional experiences I've ever dealt with and hardest thing I've ever dealt with. But I'm proud that I stuck it out and I'm gonna stick it out. I came here for a purpose, and like you saw, I started this 3 years ago with the boys in Alberta, and I'm here till the end. Like I said, this ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I ain't singing anytime soon.
So you know my picture of my painted rock, that's my profile picture? That's also my tattoo on my leg. Told you, through and through. I like it though. I think it would be very cool.
Cheetah, that's your first warning. Any more swearing and I'll have to boot you. Sorry. I'm wrong room.
Hey guys, am I in moderator chat right now?
I can hear you.
Okay, guys, I'm totally cutting in here. I need to celebrate. I finally made it on Breaker, guys, on Twitch. Go check it out.
It's 1 o'clock, and I was actually on my way to bed, and then I started doing that research that Queenie was talking about, our Queen, so I am on my way to bed now.
Good night, Kim. No, I didn't hear it. I was out feeding my rabbits. I got a mini zoo going on. 5 dogs, 7 cats, 3 parakeets, 2 rabbits.
Oh my gosh. That is a lot. So Queen just popped in and said she made it on Breaker on Twitch, and I don't know if she means that as a Twitch. I don't think they call them channels over there, but I'm not sure what she's talking about exactly.
I'm not sure either. Queen, fill us in.
Thanks, Mental. I'm still kind of confused.
Whoops. I think I just totally elbow smashed someone. Sorry, guys. My thing lags and I didn't see that there was somebody on there, and then all of a sudden I flipped over and I did. And Ty, you got all those animals and a partridge? in a pear tree. Kim, it's on Twitch, and it's called Breaker Breakers, the channel, and you can see they talk about Wizard and Mandy. They like to go hard on us over on Zello. And I always wondered when I was going to make it on there, right? Because like I talk a lot and they never come at me and or feature me, and I actually made it tonight. You can see it's called This is Pure Gold.
Okay, I gotta go check it out. I left another message about the other stuff that we were talking about. I don't know if you heard it. Let me know.
Okay, so what is this breaker breaker, though? I mean, what does it discuss?
It's people going on there, trolls and all that kind of stuff, complaining about us, letting a chat open for people to talk about our situations, and just go check it out. It's got Pat King's arrest and everything on there. It's just it's a troll channel, and they just come at us. It's funny.
Okay, I'll check it out. Breaker breaker.
I'm not finding anything on Twitch. Do you know? I'm so sorry. Can you post the link on this one? Because this is interesting. I was given a link on something completely different, so I had no idea about this. This is fun.
Sorry guys, it's not on Twitch. It's on Reddit. I mix up Twitch and Reddit because they're side by side. It's Reddit and the room Breaker Breakers. Sorry guys. But the URL's there anyways. You can just pop on there.
Oh, sure. Send us on a goose hunt.
Yeah, I was feeling kind of dumb there for a minute. I couldn't find it on Twitch.
Sorry guys, I'm not smart sometimes. I need to go to bed too sometimes, and I've been on this thing for how many days now? Well, what are we at? Day 25, so 26, 27. 27 days no sleep, hardly. So sorry, no, it's Reddit, not Twitch, you guys. Twitch is for live streams. I apologize.
I feel you. But hey, you were excited too, so you're forgiven.
Yeah, I just saw that. Great. Of course, they only take the snippet of the picture and not what I said above it.
Wow. Have they nothing to do in life besides that crap?
Oh, I know. They try to get on. She thinks this is Twitch. Yeah, sorry I mixed that up. You try and have my job, buddy. And I know you're listening, so whatever. Try and have my job and think that you can talk straight all the time. Go to hell. But thanks for making me more famous than I already am. Whoop woo! That's a win there, guys.
And sadly, right now, that's exactly who he's looking like.
Well, that was you're like as passionate as I am. These guys suck. These people suck so much, man. They actually make me paranoid. Like, like what?
I love your giggle. Did you I just watched part of the compilation they have of Pat King. Holy smokes, that does not look good on him.
Well,
I downloaded the actual Reddit off like one of those download things. I don't have Reddit, but that is I can't. I'm these people have too much time on their hands. I mean, Like, like even right now, it's just, I don't know. This is, wow. Wow.
They just see.
Yeah, they that's a troll platform. They thrive on that. They try to make us look bad. But really, like, I don't even know what is in there that makes me look bad. That's straight legit truth. And I'm just myself. So whatever. Like I said, they're making me more famous. But they do take a poke at everybody and try to twist it for their own purposes on there to make everybody look bad. So don't mind them. I'm sure if you get in there and say something controversial, you'll be up there too. And I'll sure I follow it heavily. It's kind of funny.
I've said a lot of controversial things, and I've tried to I tried to limit my tongue, but my life is. I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of there's a lot of controversial things going on right now. I mean, if you can't wake up and smell the roses, there's a problem. But yeah, I'm sorry yeah, that is just it's silly. It's no, there's nothing. It's just silliness. And the funny thing is that you guys are talking about a question that everybody's been asking, like, is Fidel his father?
This makes me want to change my username because I use that same username on other social media.
Like, don't say anything. I wasn't trying to bump you. I was just trying to bump you because
Yeah, I guess that was kind of dumb, wasn't it?
this app is Satan. Oh, I downloaded a group, right? So we made a lovely Telegram group, and we're all excited, and we're sharing information. And I invite this guy, and doesn't he invite this girl that's starting to what is it? Solicit the men in the group. So I had to like block this person. Oh man, people are fun. And this is after Queen Bee, warned me. So I'm clearly a slow learner.
I've learned in the last couple of weeks that there are a lot of weird people out there.
Oh my goodness. This has been such a don't want to say it's an enlightening experience, but it's definitely been an experience. And there's a whole bunch of people. Yep, you're right. But also there's you guys, and I have to say I'm really grateful because the community and the tribe and the conversations and the just honestly listening in and being a part of it is just it's given me a lot of strength, and I'm grateful.
Me too. I'm alone almost all the time, so it's been great having you guys to talk to.
Yeah, I actually the worst thing about it is like my phone's gone off, and it's not that I don't want to talk on the phone. I do like to talk on the phone, but I enjoy this app so much that like my sister, she's probably jealous now, which is fine. We talk all the time, but this app is so addictive.
For sure. I don't really talk on the phone that much, but I've definitely been addicted to this.
You know what? The good news is that at least, and I hate to say it, and not at Queen Bee's expense, but and like you said, you can always use it as good, famousness. But it's a good thing to keep in mind that we just need to protect our identifications and protect each other in the group, and and that's just all we can do is be aware that there's sick people out there that are there and they exist, and it's kind of scary, but it's also it's an awareness, and I'm sorry that you guys are in that. But yeah, I don't think you guys said anything wrong. I think you guys asked a very valid question, and yeah, just people are sick.
For sure. That's why I'm thankful I live in a little quiet town.
Well, either way, if you guys get any more of these Twitches, not that I want to watch them all, but yeah, I'll watch them. Some of them that was kind of it was cheeky, but we can make a collage after and use it for our benefit if you guys want. I did download it because I had to, because I can't watch it off the Reddit. But I'm going to tailor on and probably surf the groups and then make some sleeps because it is 1:30 and I should go to sleep. So good night, guys.
Same here. Good night.
Sorry, my finger slipped. Sorry.
You're fine. You didn't cut me off.
So Queen, if you need somebody to verify that, I can ask Coach when I get home about her. Me and Coach are pretty tight, so. Sorry, I'd like to think that we're pretty tight anyways.
Correct.
I don't know. Mental, I don't know where that was. I'm not following that, and this is in the main room.
If you're talking about the chat with the picture that they posted, that was in the main chat, and I think that was earlier tonight.
Oh, I just hit a gold mine. Yeah, I just got a list of things. I think the channel's going to change a little bit. It's interesting to see some of the names on there. Well, it is what it is.